Alrighty, guys. Good morning. Welcome to this Tuesday, September 16th. And market is still holding on, extending to the upside in the overnight. Uh, Yesterday, we gapped up. We rolled to the December contract. We gapped up. We extended to the upside. So far, the overnight going into today has been just doing exactly the same. Now, I just always had to be cautious. One of these days it's going to be like this, and it's going to start off great like this, and then there's going to be a little bit of a profit-taking day when the run is quite a bit lower. So just be mindful about that. It's not going to go straight up forever, that's for sure. Now, we got a ton of news coming out today, this morning. So we had the Fed meeting beginning today. Widely believed it's going to be a quarter-point drop. And we get that announcement tomorrow with a press conference. At 8:30, we get retail sales, import-export prices. 9:15, we get industrial production. 10 o'clock, we get business inventories and housing market data. That's what we got going this morning. So fair amount of news this morning at 8:30, 9:15, and 10. Overall, market is, yes, pointed higher. There's no reason to start off any way different. So initially here, starting off on the long side of the market, looking to buy weakness, 66.80s, 66.70s, 66.60 to 65. Rotations back up. Three levels down. Now we can technically buy it all the way down here to that 66.40s, but I would take off long bias if it trade below that 60.65 level. I think that backs off a little bit more than you want to see. Still looking to buy against the 55s and the 40s for rotations back up, but just a little bit less aggressive. Potential for a short retracement trade if they take out that 60 level. They may run it all the way down here to that 40 to retest the lows. Could certainly happen. So initially, I'm starting off looking to buy against these first three levels: 66, 80, 70, and then the 60, 65 area for rotations back up again. Below 60s, taking off the long bias, going back more range bound, but still looking to buy against that 55 and the 40s. There could be a short trade in there running it down here to the 40s. Let's watch for that one. It depends on how that early morning weakness develops. On the way higher, not going to be very aggressive on the long side at all. Just looking for, yes, it could be short trades in there, but I'm not going to be very aggressive. It could be short-term scalp opportunities, if anything. And they're there. I mean, there's no doubt there is opportunities to get short. It just the part of the when you're in the move out of the middle to the upside and things are moving higher, repricing the market to the upside. There's no reason to be super aggressive on a short trade because chances are you're going to get caught on that trade. But if you have a good setup trigger and it's been failing for a while or they're running out of gas at an edge, it can certainly be an option to take a short. I'm just not going to be very aggressive on it. So favor the long side of the market. Watch that 60-65 area. Below that one, we may see a little bit more weakness heading down to test the gap up point, if you wish. So that's how we get started on the ES. Pretty straightforward, especially when they don't have a lot of lean against. Right at this point, just kind of stay on the long side and see how far they're going to want to take this. Looking at the bonds and the NASDAQ, bond market, kind of holding in the range. They're right up here. They look for a while, they were backing off. So we're in stage 3 right now. They have repriced the bond market to the upside, and they are pretty much holding right now around that upper attractor to 117, 118. 118 is the upper level. 117, I should say 116.16 here is the lower level. So 116.16 to 118 is the area, and the attractor area is a little bit closer to 117.16. So that's where we are on the bonds. Just start off range bound on that guy. See if you're going to see retracement, then they'll be taking out these lower areas pretty quick. If you're going to see extension to the upside, they probably take out that 118.05. So initially looking for shorts against that 118 and 118.05s, above 118.05s. I'm looking for moves to the upside. On the lower end of this, looking to buy against 1720, 1516 down to the 1708s. And I would say below 1708, maybe looking for rotation, a little bit more weakness. Still looking to buy against 17 here, 1628 and 1624, but maybe a little bit less aggressively at that point. So that's kind of the starting point on the bond market this morning. Do you have some news? So you can certainly reprice the bond market pretty good if it's I mean, retail sales is a big number, so industrial production should also be a pretty good market mover. So we'll see how this whole thing shakes out. Nasdaq, also the same story as the ES, gapped up, extending, they're on fire. Starting to feel a little bit stronger than the ES at this point. But they gapped up, they traded higher to 24,500s yesterday, and they extended in the overnight. So same story there, starting off on the long side of the market, looking to buy weakness, 580s, 520s, 480s for rotations back up. Below 480s, I would look for a retracement trade on these single prints, all the way down here to the 400s, maybe even lower. So taking off the long bias below 480s, looking for a potential retracement trade. Still looking to buy against these lower support areas, though. It's not like the changes, the capital flow is not going to change direction just like that. So still looking to buy against that 420 and the 320 here for rotations back up, or 330 for rotations back up. Maybe just not as aggressively. So that's kind of the dynamic. But below that 480 level, could have a nice potential short driving this lower as to test support areas. So we'll see. But starting off on the long side of the market, and on the short side, the only thing we have is 640, but I'm not going to be very aggressive on that one. If anything, it's going to be day session scalps when you have good setup and the triggers. Because sometimes you get good extension to the upside, and then an opportunity to get in with good trade location for a quick scalp. But I'm not going to look for bigger moves to the downside until they start taking out that 480 level. So that is Nasdaq. Start both ES and Nasdaq from the long side of the market until we see something different. Finally, oil and gold. So gold extending to the upside again. They're heading higher. 4,000, here we come. So gold at this point, let me see my capital flow on gold. They looked like they were stalling here for a bit at that attractor, going sideways for a bit, and then yesterday they took it out the upper edge at the 36.95. Hasn't looked back, heading higher. So stay on the long side on gold. Looking to buy weakness at the 37.25s, 37.15s for rotations back up, and I would say below 37.15s. We may have a retracement trade all the way down here to that 36.95 breakout point. Could be a nice short setup right there, but wait for them to take out that 37.14 to 15 support area first. On the way up, no reason to be aggressive. We are in the move out of the middle to the upside again on gold. So trade that from the long side of the market and see how far I can take it. I'm not trying to be very aggressive on gold. It's a little bit too volatile. It whipsaws back and forth pretty violently. So if you have a good momentum play, you can see there's some real momentum. When you get on that early, that's your best bet, really. Retest failures is not. I mean, they work okay, but more than often the edges are they're running through the edges a little bit too much. But anyway, so stay on the long side of gold to buy weakness, and watch that lower 37.15 edge for rotations lower that comes out. And finally, oil, getting ready to roll that thing to the next expiration. I don't know if I forgot to update oil. That's great. Okay. Forgot to update oil, so I have to do it on the fly a little bit there. No. I'm gonna take this guy off like this. These two. And this guy can move up a little bit like so. That's good enough. There you go. So this edge is going to stay there. So starting off range bound, pretty much exactly the same as we did before on this guy. And take this guy off as well. And do this. Drag this guy up like that. So there we have those two. I'm going to skip this thing in the middle. Well, maybe a small, little tighter edge right there, right there. Could be a small little edge right there. But anyway, so there you have it. It's a little quick adjustment on the levels, but we're looking at uh, pretty much range bound trading. They haven't moved directionally for a bit, and I would just in this one too, right there. So there we go. So starting off range bound on oil, no reason to do anything else. The market hasn't moved directionally for a while now. They're trading around 64. So I would look to sell strength against the 60, took that out. The next level up is going to be 64. Rotations down, looking to buy weakness against the 63.20s, 63s, down to the 62.50s here for rotations up. I would say below 62.50s, we may have a move lower. Above 64, we may have a move higher. But if you look at 64, where that's at on the capital flow, 64 right now is pretty much in the middle. You have a little volume bulb here building. So above 64, we kind of taking out the little volume edge here. How the shot at heading up to 65. Below the 62.50s, we have a shot at heading down towards the 61s. But you can see how that volume is building here, and that's where they've been trading back and forth, back and forth. So we're going to stick with that until we see a breakout of some sort. All right, so that's oil. And also you have I think after tomorrow is going to be the last day on the October, then we roll into November. I think it's the 17th we roll after the 17th. All right, so that's oil. For range bound trading on oil, and not going to be very aggressive on trading oil at this point. On gold, staying alongside of the market on that guy. Back to the ES, and okay, so it's still going back and forth here. So nothing has really changed. It's kind of where we left it. So starting off on the long side on the ES and the NASDAQ, let's see if this move after the gap up keeps going. It is pretty spectacular in September to have this kind of a rally, I had to say. That is pretty spectacular. So we'll take it. All right, guys, we'll leave it there for now. I'll see you back at 11:30 for the next update. So good trading, guys, and I'll see you back then.